Hey, Lake Travis parents, this is a video to help you understand how to use Schoology, the learning management system for our district. So if you've never logged into Schoology before, you'll want to go to www.schoology.com and it will pull up this homepage. In the top right-hand corner, you have a sign up button. And when you hover over that, it gives you options to choose instructor, student, or parent. You will choose parent. It will open up a new tab for you where it asks you for an access code. This access code is provided to you by your child's teacher. If you had a student in the system last year, you do not need to create a new account each year, and you do not need to put in a new access code for your student each year. This is only if you've never signed into Schoology before. So once you enter in an access code, it will then follow up with a request for your email address and a password so that you can create your account. If you already have a Schoology account, you'll access that account by going to the district website, ltisdschools.org, and finding the Schoology icon in this top row. It will take you to a page that has a place for a student login and a parent login. A quick note about the student login. Students should be accessing Schoology through LT1. So you most likely won't be using this button for your student login, but you will use this parent button for your parent login. Once you click that button, it will take you to this website so that you can choose login and enter your parent account information. This parent information was already saved, so it just took us straight to the landing page. So let's look at the overall layout of Schoology. In the top left-hand corner, you have the campus name. And if you have more than one student, it may default to just one particular campus, or you may just have a general light blue bar across the top and it may just say Schoology. You have courses, groups, and resources. These three buttons you will most likely not be using while you're viewing from your parent account. And you'll know it's your parent account because your name will be right here in this upper right-hand corner. You have a search function, which you probably won't be using, a calendar, a messaging center, and a notification bell. You most likely won't be using any of these things. You may occasionally get notifications, but you will also be receiving those notifications in your email that's connected to your Schoology account. And you probably won't be using the messaging center because you'll be communicating with the teacher through email as well. So now let's take a look at the drop-down menu next to your name. You'll have your name at the top and then your student's name and their campus underneath their name. If you have an incoming kindergartner or a student who's new to the district or just another student that you currently don't have access to, you can choose the Add Child button. And it's going to prompt you for a code, and that's that same access code I referenced at the beginning of this video, and you can ask your child's teacher for that code. You would put that code in, click Use Code, and then they would show up in your menu. Now let's take a look at what the account looks like when you're viewing your child's account. If I go into Oliver's account, it automatically takes me to this landing page, which shows me any recent activity that has happened. And if you'll notice these anonymous posts, anytime a student other than your own posts in one of the groups or classes that your child has access to, it will be grayed out and the name will be turned to anonymous. And the same thing would happen for your own child's comments and posts from another parent's perspective in their account. So that's just to protect everyone's privacy. In this top right-hand corner, we have recent grades and upcoming assignments. So if there's anything assigned with a due date in your child's courses, it will show up here. Let's take a look at my daughter's account. There we go. So recent grades, if anything's overdue, and then any upcoming assignments that she might have. Across the top, you have, just like in your parent account, courses, groups, and grades, except now these refer to the courses, groups, and grades specifically for the child whose name is over in the top right corner. So let's take a look at courses. You'll notice that there's more than one. Your child at the elementary level will have a course for their homeroom teacher, and will also have a course for specials areas, music, art, and PE. And there may be an occasional extra course if your student receives other services. Let's go into Martin's Mighty Dogs. So the first place we see is the materials page. And on the materials page, this is where all of the material is housed that your student is interacting with, all of their assignments, any links that they need access to on a regular basis are housed on the materials page. We'll come back to this page in just a minute. The updates page is where you might get those announcements. So this is where you can come and view any announcements that were made. Again, you can tell when the teacher has posted versus when another student has posted, as those posts remain anonymous. If you go to grades, you may or may not be able to see any grade information. Schoology is not our gradebook of record. Skyward is the gradebook of record for the district. So you may not see any grades in Schoology from your parent account. If you are curious as to how your student is doing, you can always contact your teacher and check Skyward as your primary resource. And then you have a members list. So again, we have some privacy protections in place. You can see that there are 24 other members in this course besides the ones listed, but most of those are going to be students, so you will not be able to see the names of those students. However, you will see any name with this yellow badge is an admin of the course. So they're the ones that have access to add things to the course and things like that. It's usually your homeroom teacher. It could be the principal or assistant principal, and as well as any other special services teachers that might need access to the course. Let's go back to materials. There are two ways to view the materials in a Schoology course. This little arrow right here can expand the folder, and each of those arrows expands as well, and you can see the material that way. Another way to view is just to simply click on the words. The folders themselves are not clickable in Schoology, so you'll need to make sure you click on the words for any material that you're looking at. And then again, it's the same folder structure that you saw a minute ago from the other view. These are all assignments that the student would need to respond to. So sometimes you might have a PDF that can open either within Schoology itself, or it may sometimes open in a new tab. So you're able to view that. If we're looking at an assignment, a couple of things to notice is, as a parent, you do not have the ability to submit an assignment. So you can view your child's submission, but you are not able to submit the assignment yourself. So if you are working with your student and supporting them in completing their Schoology assignments, make sure your student is logged in as themselves, because you will not have the same functionality through your parent account. So you can view a couple of things here. You can see the directions. There's a helpful video linked in here that you can open up. You can see what the criteria was for grading and what the grade was. And this criteria would be very specific assignment to assignment and between teachers. And if you go over and hover on the assignment, it tells you when it was submitted, the date and time, and you can click on it and actually view what was submitted. So it will load in this Schoology document viewer, and you could scroll to view that full picture. And on the very far right, you can see if the teacher made a comment or if the student themselves made a comment. And you can close out of there. Another type of assignment is the discussion. So just like with the updates, it's going to protect any other student information by graying out and labeling anything not posted by your student, your personal child, or the teacher. So again, we can see the directions up here, we can see the grading criteria, and we can see the discussion. If we go to highlight user, it really is going to keep everyone anonymous except for the teacher and your own child. Another way to navigate through the different assignments is to use these buttons in the top left-hand corner. When you have an assignment open, you can click next and it tells you where it's going. So I was in the last assignment of week 2, so now it bumped me into week 3. And if I click next, it's going to take me into the first item in this folder. And it will just keep taking me to the next assignment after that. Let's take a look at all the different kinds of assignments you might see in your student's account. So we're back to the landing page for Piper. Another feature on your student's page that you won't have when it's your name at the top is the calendar. This is a great way to get a preview of what's coming up for your student. So anything that the teacher creates with a due date will show up with the name of the assignment. So right now, these are all basic names just for this sample video. But if it's a teacher created assignment that is a real assignment, it will have a full title of what it is. And you can see the due date, the due time. You can view your calendar by week, and then you have the day itself. The month is probably the most useful way of viewing the calendar. Okay, so let's take a look at one of Piper's courses. We're back to that materials page, and I can see my upcoming assignments are also here across the right-hand side. This is also the view of your student's account when they are logged in. So no question about what is due when, as long as the teacher has added a due date to the things that they have created in Schoology. All right, if we use these arrows to toggle through, you can see there are 6 different icons that represent 6 different types of assignments or materials that students may engage with in Schoology. So I'm going to go into that so we can see them a little bit bigger. The first is an assignment. An assignment can be a lot of things. The directions would be listed out here. And again, if you were in a student account, there would be a button right over here that says submit, and the student would be able to submit their work. As a parent, you are not able to submit work through your parent account. The next assignment is a test or a quiz, and you are not able to take the test or quiz, but you would be able to see if your student had actually entered or submitted the quiz. You could tell how many times they took it, when they started it, when they completed it, how much time they took, and what their score was. So this is a great screen to look at if your student is struggling applying themselves in this remote learning setting. And it's a great opportunity to have a conversation with them about taking their time. Maybe if you see that they took 30 seconds to take a quiz that maybe should have taken 5 minutes, that's a quick, easy conversation with your student to support their learning. The next type of assignment is similar to a test or quiz. Schoology just calls it something different. They call it an assessment, but it could be used in both of those arenas. A teacher may build an assessment for a quiz grade or for a test grade, or they may just be building an assessment just to get a check to see where students are and it not necessarily translate to a grade in the grade book. So again, we can't actually view this assessment, but you can view the overall grade. And if we go back, we have links. So in particular, you'll usually see links as for your Google Meet. So the next thing we have is a link for the type of material. And so this would probably actually be a description of what this link goes to. And as soon as you click that, it will open up either inside Schoology or it will open up a new tab to take you to that particular website. This is also the icon you will see next to the link to get into your Google Meet to be live, for your student to be live with their teacher. We have a discussion, which is the icon with the bubbles, the text bubbles. And if you click on a discussion, there would be an open text box here for your student to respond. And again, once your student responds, you'll be able to see that here. And the last piece is a page. So the page can be anything. It really just means like a web page. So this could be a Word document. It could be a video. It could be slide decks. And sometimes those pages are just housed in line. So the student could actually view the video without having to click on the word page. So those are the basic types of assignments that you might see. We've reviewed the landing page in your parent account, the landing page of your student account, as well as the specifics of a course itself and what that might look like from the parent perspective. Hopefully that helps you become a little more familiar and comfortable with our learning management system.